got Switzerland behind us there, Bhupat. You thought you ran a cracker in Saudi. Were you pleased with that run?
Yeah, we were happy with the run, considering all the circumstances. I mean, he could have probably had a little better placing, but yeah, we were happy with the run.
Well, then he enjoyed a nice 10 days in quarantine. I suppose that's a bit different for him being at Meydan for that period. Would it have helped him almost, do you think?
Well, it's I can't say if it would have helped him or not, but he's they took good care of him in the quarantine. But on the other hand, you would want them to be under their own eye, under your own watch. So. Yeah, I mean, I think a few days off would have done him good anyway.
Well, he's a horse that's really come to himself this season. Is that kind of what you expected, really, after all the travelling he's had to do over the last few years?
Yeah, well, look, to us, the day he walked into Zabeel, he's been training phenomenally well. He does everything very easily. He's got tons of speed. So, I don't know any different, how he was before us. So.
And have you got the sort of same horse now as you did at the start of the season? He's carried on progressing right throughout this campaign?
I think so. His last gallop was on Tuesday, and he galloped really well. And yeah, I think so. I think we still got the same horse. Hopefully better.
Looks a very strong and powerful horse, doesn't he, at the front there?
Yeah, he's a Speightstown, and all these Speightstown we've had the experience with Ronaldo the Wizard, and actually personally myself, I've had the experience with Speightstown because when I was in Kentucky in Tailor-Made Farm, he was a yearling. So I had the chance to be around him, and he was owned by Aaron Jones, Mr. and Mrs. Aaron Jones, and he was a very, very powerful looking yearling, and they all get better with age as well. So I think hopefully that's the case with him as well.
You think he can turn around the form with the Japanese at his track almost to Meydan?
Yeah, well, that's our hope. Yeah, let's hope we can. It's going to be a tricky race with Matira Sky in front and a few of the American sprinters here as well. So we'll just have to see. Hopefully we'll get a good draw. And if he's in good form, we'll probably put it up to them.
And here we've got First Contact. I suppose whenever you buy a horse in September at the Racing Dubai sale, it's going to take a bit of time to get going with him. Is that the case with First Contact?
Yeah, I guess so. He came from Ahmed Harmashes. He came in good state to us, and he's done everything right since he's been here. He's quite a tough horse in the morning. Jennifer rides him. She does a good job with him. He has run away once or twice, but yeah, he's been a good horse. But I think yes, next year he'll probably be a better horse for sure.
I suppose it's always difficult getting horses from Charlie Appleby and trying to even just maintain their form, let alone improve them, isn't it?
No, you're right. I mean, Charlie's such a good trainer, and especially when you get on the turf, he's a master of his craft, and but on the other hand, I think this horse he is doing really well.
It was a classic case with him of such a good run first time. It wasn't bad in the Jebel Hatta, but it was always going to be difficult for him to step up so quickly after that initial outing.
Yeah, I would think so. He ran after such a long time, and as they say sometimes in America and in the racing terms, that there was a bounce factor. Maybe he did bounce in that race, but then the circumstances were also he was pulling, and he was doing everything the wrong way around. So there'll be good pace in the Group 1 on World Cup night. So I'm not saying he's gonna win, but it's a super tough race. But hopefully he'll show up and run a good race, and next year it'll be his proper year.
And you mentioned him pulling. Ideally, 1,600 metres would be his trip as opposed to the 1,800 of the turf, or does that not worry you?
You're probably right. You're probably right. But in the 1,600 metre, he was still finishing, so you're probably right. But on the other hand, he will be a very, very good horse on the dirt as well, because all these Dark Angels, they're a surprise on the dirt because they do so well on the dirt. And he hits the gate. He does everything like a dirt horse. And when Richie rode him and he came back, he said, "We have to definitely try him on the dirt one day." So next year is probably going to be his forte. We'll see. We'll try him on the dirt and turf and see where he belongs.
Here we've got Tuz behind us, who's had a light campaign. But have you been pleased with both his runs so far?
Yeah, unfortunately he was a bit unlucky last time. I'm not saying that we could have probably beaten Midnight Sands or not, but we definitely would have been pretty close. He's relatively inexperienced. He's only had 5 runs, and 5 or 6 runs, and that showed. His inexperience showed actually at the races. he was messing about in the paddock and he reared up and he tried to do everything the wrong way around. So, and he missed the break, but he finished really well, which is really encouraging. And he's in the mornings, he's a very, very good horse in training. You know, he shows a lot of potential. So, you know, I think hopefully this race is not coming too soon for him. That's the only thing I'm worried about. But otherwise, everything is very, very good with him.
So it's almost as if that last run could be the one that's taught him the most from his career, because winning by so far in Russia, he's probably not learned anything, has he?
Yeah, you're probably right, exactly. That's exactly what my thought was, that, you know, he was, for the first time, was behind horses, got some kickback, it was on the inside, and he had to take a brave route. So, and he still finished well. So, yeah, I think definitely, for experience-wise, it would have taught him something.
And where do you see his trip ultimately? Obviously, 1900 in the Albastakir ran well. He was staying on at the end of a mile last time. Is he a genuine miler, in your opinion?
He's definitely a genuine miler for sure. You know, he's got tons of speed, but, you know, some of those very good horses, they've got speed and then they stay. So in his last run, he was staying on, and William Buick said that he'd definitely go 1.25 miles. So next year, we'll have to start him at a mile. It was unfortunate he had very small niggly problems this year, and, you know, we couldn't get him ready early on. And then his campaign's been, you know, back-to-back racing. I wish we would have given him a bit more time. I wish we had the luxury of giving him more time, which unfortunately our cards were dealt. But, you know, next year, hopefully, if everything goes well, we'll probably start him early and get to a mile and then move him to 1.25 miles.
Here we've got Secret Ambition. He must just be a legend in the yard, always runs his race.
Yeah, he's just a phenomenal horse. I think he's a great horse for any owner, any trainer, and any jockey to be around. I think he's been running for us since he was a 3-year-old, and he's 8 now. And he's never missed a beat, never missed a race, never missed an oat. You know, he's just a phenomenal horse to be around.
And you ran him over further last time. I don't suppose you learnt too much about the trip-wise, did you? It was kind of a bit of a funny race for him. Missed the break a bit wide as well.
Yeah. It was just unfortunate because he missed the break, and you know, he came from the back. He still ran a good race, but yeah, you're right. We just didn't learn much at all.
And back at the mile with him for the Godolphin Mile, his form ties in with all the best local horses, doesn't he?
Yeah. He always runs a good race. He's run in that race a few times, and he's placed in that race a few times. I think he's just below that Group 1 level, but you know, if things go right for him, he can compete with any horse.
Here we've got Romanrosso standing patiently, and I guess you've had to be quite patient with him just for him to come to himself since arriving with you.
Yeah, I mean, you know, this horse, he came late from the US, and, you know, as you know, a lot of those horses that come from America, they need a season, you know, to... but he was a top-class horse in South America, not just in his own country, but, you know, he won the Breeders' Cup in South America against all South American countries. So he's a top-class horse. He's won 3 Group 1s, and this year he's been a different animal to train, and he's been very, very good. He ran very well in the round 1 of Maktoum Challenge, a mile, which was too short. He was only getting warmed up by the time the finish line came. And round 2, unfortunately, he missed it because he had a small little quarter crack, and we missed a good few days of training. And then round 3, he ran really well. He was only probably about 85-90% fit for that race. And he was 3rd. But yeah, it's unfortunate that he could not get in the World Cup. I wish he did, because that's his true distance. You know, he's won a Group 1 at 2,500 meter and 2,400 meter as well. So, but you know, he's in the mile, and hopefully, if all goes well for him, he'll be the one finishing as well.